Hello, welcome to Burning Questions, July 25. I've got a big show planned. We'll look at mainly racing at Melton on Saturday night, but we might cast our eye up north to a couple of the big features in Queensland, and that's a pretty good segue to introduce David Miles. Milesy, I gave you a buzz during the week and just to see if you'd jump on here, and you spent about 2 minutes telling me how good and how much of a great time you're having. I trust it's been a very enjoyable trip, particularly when your star filly wins a big Group 1.
Yeah, it's been a great trip, Toc. It's a little concerning. They're the first clouds I've seen in about a week. A little worried that, it might become a regular thing because, the weather's been fantastic. Not looking forward to coming home next week, that's for sure.
No, it might be the Ballarat influence of me, is it, bringing those clouds in?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, well, looking forward to your insights. Chris Svanosio joins us as well. Snooze, you're tucked away in the car, probably in Romsey. I reckon what would the temperature be there right now?
I'm tipping it's a fair bit cooler than where David is at the moment anyway.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for jumping on, Chris. Looking forward to your insights ahead of Melton on Saturday night. We've got a special guest here. I probably never thought I'd have you on this show. Ashleigh Delosa joins us. I didn't anticipate this, but I thought what a wonderful opportunity to get you on the show with 3 big drives here at Melton. Welcome to Burning Questions. I'm assuming, Ash, that you're a long-time viewer and you're so excited to be on this show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Before we get stuck into the questions, for those that don't know a lot about you, can you tell us, in 30 seconds, a bit about yourself? I know you're from Queensland originally and you've been down in New South Wales for the past few years.
So I just grew up in Queensland and I've been in Sydney for probably 4 years now, and just working for Ricky Elchin.
Yeah, good stuff. And brought up your 100th career win in the sulky last weekend?
Last Saturday night.
Yeah, fantastic. Great to have you on the show. Thanks for giving us 15 or 20 minutes. Let's get stuck into it. Pride's Easy Feed stand as a proud supporter of the harness racing industry with their set recipes and quality ingredients to give the trainer confidence in what they're feeding. So make the switch to Pride's and start getting the result you've been chasing. Major Role hasn't been to the races since 2022, but can Snooze pull off a training coup? Snooze will hold you to last. I'll go to you, Ash, here. I know, I'm not expecting you to give us all the form here from down to Victoria, but have you got any sort of opinion on this race, the opening race on Saturday night at Melton? Major Role hasn't been seen for some time.
I haven't done a lot of form, to be honest. Probably just my races, but he looks like a classy runner in that race, but he hasn't been to the races for a very long time, and from that back row draw 11 might be hard over a mile to get into it. They might need to run it upside down to get into it, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's kind of how I was seeing it. Milesy, when I saw him in the form guide, I had to go back and have a look at some replays and stuff, and I did look at his last run. He cut some ground off. Who was the winner in that race? Boots Electric, a bit of a blast from the past. He ran second to him, and he actually ran straight past Bulletproof Boy. So do you have any recollections of Major Role, first of all?
Oh, geez, that's a couple of years ago, Toc. I'm struggling to remember what happened last week. I had to do the same, went back and had a look at a bit of form. Who's to say that Snooze couldn't pull it off, but it is an ask from 11. His trials have been fairly quiet, but obviously got a lot of ability for any connections to put up with what they've had to put up with. His horse, obviously, he's had some injury issues. I think he's got to have his share of ability, but he's in the right hands. I'm sure Snooze wouldn't have him there if he didn't think he was pretty close.
Yeah, I agree. Snooze, looking forward to hearing what you've got to tell us about this guy. I mean, I had a bit of a glance at his trials. I was surprised to see he trialled up in Mildura as well before you got him. Maybe run us through what the last sort of few months has been like with Major Role.
Yeah, he was a very good horse, but he's had several trainers before me. He raced up in Sydney for a while, and then like David Moran and Glenn Douglas had him going terrific down here, but it's a few years ago. He had a bad injury. Then he was pre-trained by Kate Addard up at Mildura, and then he's sent down here just for the sort of racing at Melton, and we've got the facilities to look after him a bit. So it'll be tough enough. I think first up, he's quite happy with his first trial, and he was a bit plain second up. So he sort of seems like a horse who'll need 3 or 4 runs to really get back to race fitness.
He's working up good at home. Like you have confidence that he can win some races for you going forward.
Yeah, definitely. If he stays sound, he's definitely good enough to still be running really good races. He seems like he's going to need a few runs, I would say.
Yeah. Can you tell us any more about the injury? Do you know what it was or not?
He had an injury to a front sesamoid, but so it was just a one injury, and the vet sort of said he wouldn't race again, but the owner gave him a long spell, and he was sort of so well in the paddock. He's had a lot of work building up to this, so I think he's been in work for 6 months or so, but just come along pretty slowly. And we've just been gradually trying to get him a bit fitter all the time, keep him in the pool and look after him as good as we can. So touch wood, he seems terrific at the moment. But he's the sort of horse, even when he was at his best, he probably really had to be fit and up there in the action to run his best races. And it's probably pretty hard to do that first up with him. So if he can be finishing off strong on Saturday night, I'm sure he'll keep improving over the next month.
So you'd be disappointed if I come up with the 25,000, would you, and bought him?
We've the owners and myself and other people have done a lot of work, but he's there. He's in for sale. So if you've got 25 cash sitting around, you want to come and have a look at him, you come and see him Saturday night.
Yeah, I've got a galloper running today at Bendigo and a trotter and a pacer tonight at Ballarat. If the double lands, Snooze, I might roll into Melton on Saturday night and buy him. But I like that. It's just an interesting, isn't it? Just we'll touch on this quickly, but I mean, he's a 116 rater against, the Beach Fantasy, who's like a 68. It's an interesting concept with the claiming price and being able to get into this sort of race.
Yeah, HRV are trying a few things. I don't agree with a lot of their programming. It's pretty ordinary in my opinion at the moment, but it's a good race for this horse to kick off in, and it probably, makes it a bit of an even race. He wouldn't be fit enough to be really racing the free-for-allers, but he's able to come back in a bit lower class, and he's there for sale. If someone wants to go and buy him, they can come and buy him. So it's hopefully works for everyone.
Good stuff. Let's go to the second of our questions. Logical Staffing Solutions provide labour hire and recruitment services to the transport, warehousing, automotive and manufacturing industries. The logical solution for your staffing needs. Ashleigh's heading south to partner Major Delight, but will it end up being her night? We go to race 7 on the card. We'll hold you to last year, Ash. Milesy, your thoughts here. The Garage Joan Allen mare's free for all. Small field of 6, but I'll tell you what, it's a ripping race.
Yeah, cracking race. Yeah, it's great quality mares as we've seen around Australia for the year. Very interesting race, very tactical. It probably comes down to driving instructions, to be honest, with the 4 Emma Stewart runners. I've seen Fiamma fly the gate and Fiamma dragged off the gate. We've got Treachery, who's probably been at least the measuring stick, running second to Ladies in Red on too many times to count. And Major Delight, you've got So What, who has been honest as the day is long. So of the 6, if any of them got the right run, it could win. But if Major Delight is able to roll to the front, she's definitely the testing material. But I think Greg Sugar's horse, Rakiro Rebel, who is absolutely airborne at the moment, I think he could be the fly in the ointment. But, it probably comes down to driving instructions and tactics. Yeah,
very, very difficult. Snooze, your thoughts here? I had a quick look at the market early in the week, and I couldn't believe I saw So What was $101 at one point there. She probably is the outsider of the field, but she's been running well. It just shows how wide open this race is.
Yeah, obviously there's some absolute superstar mares in the race, but Major Delight was one of the best 2-year-old fillies we've probably seen. I remember her winning at Maryborough in a crown heat, I think going 53 for the long journey as a 2-year-old, and I think it was a track record and just virtually unheard of for a 2-year-old filly to be able to do that. And if she can run up to that sort of form, obviously she hadn't had a lot of racing since then, but yeah, I think she might be just too good for him.
Yeah. Ash, I'll bring you in here. I'm not sure if you've spoken tactics with the team yet. You probably haven't, but maybe first of all, how exciting is this? I mean, Major Delight's the reason, I think, for you coming down to drive. You've got 3 drives on the night, but you partnered her last weekend to your 100th career victory at Menangle. Just a great opportunity, isn't it, for you to come into state and drive for a big stable?
Yeah, no, it's definitely a great opportunity. Yeah, she's definitely the main reason why I got the call up. And we haven't talked tactics yet, but yeah, I'm not sure what the Just Tubs. It's obviously been going really good, and whether they get the front and don't hand up to me, I'm not sure what happens there. But I think if I do find the front, she would be very hard to beat.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, you haven't spoken to Emma or Clayton yet about the tactics, but do you anticipate that you'll be pressing forward more than sitting back and coming with one run?
I think so, yeah. I think she's the type of mare that's probably got to be up there, and she likes to race them. At Menangle, when she was pretty far in front, she just switched off a bit and was kind of waiting for them. So I think she's best to be up there.
She's the best horse you've driven, Ash?
Yeah, for sure. She definitely has felt like the best horse anyway.
Yeah, good stuff. Looking forward to seeing how you go. I'm going to have a stab at the tactics here. I reckon Soho Historia crosses to the pegs, Fiamma Trails, and then maybe Major Delight comes around. But that's still probably about 30-1 if I can nail that. But yeah, interesting race. Looking forward to it. Race 7 on the card, the Jane Allen Mares Free for All. Third question. Virginia has been sublime this time in, so should we expect yet another win? Race 6 on the card is the High Gain Lightfoot Laurels for the trotting mares. We will hold you to last here, Snooze. Ash, did you have any thoughts on this race? You're not involved in it, but you may have seen Virginia Clowers. She's been going great guns this time in.
Yeah, she definitely has been airborne this time in, and I mean, she's got the 10 metres, I think she's off there. But no, she's been going as good as she has been. I'm sure she'll be in the finish.
Yeah. Milesy, you're not involved in this race either, but I went back and watched some replays. Your star, Rocking with Attitude, I think might have run second to her at Sat Park to Virginia Clowers when she found the front there in recent times. Is it her race on Saturday night, or are you concerned about someone like an Aldebaran Vera who hasn't got any handicap to deal with?
Well, it's a little bit up in the air. Talk with the stand start's going to make it very interesting. Some of these mares probably haven't seen it for a while, or if they have, they're not seasoned to it like they would have been 10 years ago when we had a lot more stands. So from a punting perspective, it makes it very hard, and it probably makes the prices a little bit longer because there is always that query of whether they're going to step or not. But Virginia Clowers was awesome in that race about 3 weeks ago when my filly set outside her. She handled me pretty easy, as well as some other pretty good mares. So if she steps and she's in the first half of the field very quickly, I think she's nearly unbeatable. But it's a 10-metre line. She's going to have traffic in front of her. It's punter beware, but as I say, it has made for an interesting contest with the stand start.
I think Aldebaran Vera might have beat your filly as well prior to that. Who do you think's the better horse? She's probably, I'd say Virginia Clowers is probably a safer proposition, but you never know. Do you think there's not much between Vera and Virginia Clowers, or do you think Virginia Clowers is a better horse?
I think Virginia Clowers is probably about a length behind Aldebaran Vera on pure ability, but on manners she's about 4 lengths better because when I ran around Vera at in that race that Clowers won, she got quite panicky in the field. She made a break when I ran by her. I think she's going to be a very, very good horse, probably a Group 1 winner in time, but she probably just needs a bit of ring craft. I would be suspect with her from the stand, but in saying that, she's in a great camp down there at down there at Terrain, where they've got plenty of horses and plenty of opportunity to practice these things. So I think as I say, from a punting perspective, it would be very buyer beware.
Yeah, I think she's zipping one from the standing starts out of Arranville. I reckon Virginia Clouds might have won 5 times, but might be one for the in-play punters, Milesy, if we see who steps. But Chris Svanosio, you've got 2 runners in the race, Aldebaran Miley. Taylor Ewell will take the drive there, and you're going to partner Sacred Mountain. I spoke to you last week about Sacred Mountain, and you were sort of saying to me, probably not this week, but I tell you what, it was a really impressive first up performance. You ran a nice second there in the free-for-all trot behind Harry Stamper. You would have been wrapped with that performance.
Yeah, I was. Obviously it was a hard race to kick her off in, and I thought she was terrific. This is still a good race on Saturday night, but it's definitely a little drop in grade for her, back to the mare's grade. And she has had a fair bit of stand experience in New Zealand, so that'll definitely help. But obviously I'm be given a head start to Virginia Clowers and Aldebaran Vera, the main couple of dangers. So that'll be the hardest thing for her, but she seems she should be a bit improved from last week. She's really settled in good here, so I'm hoping she can step away well and go pretty close.
Yeah, good stuff. Did she surprise you at all, Snooze, last Saturday? Or was, obviously you had the nice run in transit, but did she go better than you expected or about par?
She went better than I expected. Like, I really didn't want to burn the gate with her first up, but she just naturally ran the gate herself, which is a good asset for him to have. And to, work that hard out of the gate for a couple of hundred and then still finish off pretty well and beat a couple of handy trotters home. Yeah, if she's improved from that, she should go pretty close on Saturday night.
Yeah, no, good stuff. Looking forward to that race. Race 6 on the card, 7:52 p.m. Before we go to the last question, Ash, what does your, you've obviously got to come down here to Melton on Saturday. What does the weekend look like for you? Are you going to come down early on Friday night, head to the MCG and watch the footy? I don't know. What are you planning?
Nah, I've got to go to Newcastle, unfortunately, Friday night. So I'll just head down Saturday, probably lunchtime, and then come home Sunday.
Okay, so all business for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been to Melton before?
Yeah, a couple of times, like just to watch the trots, but never driven there.
Oh, fantastic. Fourth and final question. Milesy's up north enjoying the sun, but can the Pirate Horse start the prep with a 1? Of course, we're talking about race 8 on the card at Melton. Horse number 1, Arg. First up from a break, Michael Bellman takes the drive. Milesy will hold you to, second last. We'll hold Ash to last. We'll go to you, Snooze. Had a bit of a look at this race. Arg's trialled up quite nicely for this. I'm going to have a bit of a stab here and say that Gorn might get across, and then maybe Petrarca would find the top, and he'd be pretty hard to beat. But really good race. Yeah, Bucky's got really good form at the top grade. How did you see the final event on the card, Snooze?
Yeah, it probably looks pretty solid race for Arg first up. Obviously, I'd say the horse that's never had many good barrier draws. And, whoever finds the front's going to have a really good chance. So, Gorn and Petrarca, but if Buckian could get across them all and find the top, it would be very hard to beat. It's been running, really good races in these free-for-alls each time. So, whoever does end up in front's going to have a big advantage, I'd say.
If I gave you $100 to have a bet on this race, Snooze, what would you do with it?
I'd probably have it on Bucky, and I think if he could find the top, he'll be very hard to beat.
Yeah, he's been running so well in the free-for-alls from the death a lot of the time. We'll go to you, Milesy. Arg, he's been a great horse. This looks difficult for him, but he's drawn really well, and you've got the services of a really good bombers man in Michael Bellman.
Yes, probably the only detracting factor, Toc, that he barracks for Essendon. But he is the best red-headed driver this south of the border. So he'll steer him. He's won races on him before. He knows the old boy really well. He does go really good fresh. but I didn't think on paper when I nominated him this race was going to be quite as hard as it is. He's got good gate speed. He can hand up to whichever horse he wants to. So, the instructions will be try to be leaders back, not three back defence. That might get difficult if Gorn gets across him and they hand up to Petrarca. But I do think he's got a little each way chance. Unfortunately, there's only a small field. You only 2 place dividends, but. His work's been really good. The guys at home have done a super job all the way. Nick Beale and Caitlin Body, they really have had the team on fire at home. So, I might just stay away a bit longer if he gets up.
Yeah. So sort of happy to hand up. It's a difficult one for you, isn't it? Because you'd love to be leaders back, but if your leaders back, you might be 3 pegs. Is that kind of how you see it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it just depends. I'm pretty sure either one of the Stewart runners won't be handing up to Yambuckian, but I'd be a bit concerned Gorn gets across us early and then hands up to Petrarca, it puts us 3 back. We'll still be competitive from there, but you've just got to make up 2 lengths on those horses. At least Yambuckian generally keeps the speed on us.
Yeah.
As I say, it'd be if he does happen to win, I think Ash's boss and I, Ricky, might just stay up here for a bit longer and keep fishing.
Ash, the scenario where Petrarca finds the front sounds pretty good to you?
Yeah, I mean, if he finds the front, I think he would be hard to beat.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? I mean, I had a look through. I don't know if you've checked his run from last week, first up for Ryan Sanderson. I did read the steward's report, and I think he lost a shoe there. So his run was probably a bit better than maybe those that, there'd be some disappointed punters at $1.10, but maybe his run was a bit better than that.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a disappointing run. I mean, he did get caught in a bit of traffic there. When he come 3 wide, the one in front of him didn't seem to take him right up there to when he wanted to be there. But, he looked a bit tired late on the line there, but I think he'll be better again this week. And if he can run the front, I'm sure he'll be hard to run down.
Yeah. You've got to come up with the best bet shortly, but I might just put you on the spot now. You've got 3 drives at Melton, all for Emma Stewart. Which one is your best winning chance, do you think?
I'm going to say Major Delight.
Okay, Major Delight. Before we go to the best bets, Milesy, I've got Albion Park up here. You've got the 2 runners. Where are we? Look Like Diamonds in the Queensland Oaks, a Group 1. And also you have, where is she? Rocking with Attitude in the Group 1 Queensland Trotters Cup. Maybe just a quick word. Can you pull off a double?
Oh, geez, I don't think so. I'd like to. I'd be happy if the pair of them could run top 4. Look Like Diamonds was awesome in the Southeast Oaks a couple of weeks ago. Got caught parked in 54 for the long trip. And she's drawn 9, nice trailing draw with very pretty out. It just takes a bit of the speed out of the race. And Millwood Bliss looks like it should just find the top and be very, very hard to run down. And with Artie B, Mickey and I drawing the back line, it's going to make it quite hard for us. But if we can get through the first half of the field and even get around to sit outside Millwood Bliss, I think we might be able to run top 4. Rocking with Attitudes, she's drawn outside Gus, who is absolutely airborne. Pete and Chantel have done an amazing job with him. He's obviously quite raw and green through the Inter Dominion series where he was very competitive, but they've got his manners a lot better. And he is running sectionals that are off the chart, and he'd be competitive with Just Believe and Call Me the Breeze. RC Phoenix with the sectionals he's running up here recently. He's going to be very hard to beat, and he's got the draw on us. And Pebbles down here, I think she agrees with me. She's not real happy with the barrier draw for Rock with Attitude.
Is that your dog, is it?
No, Michelle and Sean Grimsey, who have looked after me like a king while I've been here out here at Tambourine. She's the sausage dog that she's a bit needy. She wants a pat right at the moment.
She's been sleeping on the end of the bed, Milesy, or what?
Yeah, she has. She loves it. Yeah, she's kept me warm at night, which has been cold up here at night. It's been a bit colder this year than last year, but still a bit better than down home.
I feel real sorry for you. Yeah, really sorry for you, mate. Great stuff. Great insight. Now, Sharp's Bakery sponsor the best bets. Ash, I'll say this to everyone that's first time on the show. All the other stuff you've said is fantastic, but this is where you make a name for yourself. Tip the punters a winner if you can, please.
Oh God, I don't know. I just say Major Delight again.
I thought you might have been heading that way. That's fair enough. Major Delight for Ashleigh Delosa. Just to confirm, that is, what did I say? Race 7 on the card. Race 7, number 6, Major Delight for Ash. Snooze, what are you doing? Best bet?
I'll say Aldebaran a Crux is my best, so she's got the good draw, and hopefully I can make use of it.
Yeah, okay. Race 4, number 1. The Craig Rail has marked your horse 550. Just quickly on Aldebaran a Crux. Haven't had a great look at that race, but can you hold the front there, or what are you thinking?
She won in front a couple of starts ago, but whether I can hold up or end up on the leader's back should be get a good chance. She was sort of held up 3 back to pegs last start from barrier 8, and if I can just be at least 1 spot closer, she should go pretty good.
Good stuff. All right, race 4, number 1, Aldebaran a Crux for Chris Svanosio. David Miles, are you tipping the punters into one at Melton or up in Queensland, or are you tipping the Hawks? I don't know.
Oh, well, the Hawks will win. They'll beat Adelaide this week. That's a moral. But, some great racing up here. The Leap to Fame, Blacks Are Fake is on again, which is, it's just great to watch him. I said to somebody during the week, it's like watching Tiger Woods play golf or Michael Jordan play football. Golf. Basketball even. I'll get it out, so spit it out. He's just a freak. But the race I'm really looking forward to is the Proto Star. Seeing all these 2-year-olds come from different form lines, it's going to be a ripping race for 500,000. I think this race will really take off, and it'll be one of the biggest races in the country in coming years. But my best, I'm sticking to Melton. There's a mare in the first that I think I've got a lot of time for, and Is This Just Fantasy? I know she's drawn bad. She had no luck last week. She was off the charts at Geelong a couple of runs ago when she looked super in 53 at Geelong, which is airborne. So I think even from the bad draw, I think Is This Just Fantasy will be winning the first.
Okay, race 1, number 7 for David Miles. I found this really, really hard for a best bet, but given I asked her to come on the show, I'm going to put the pressure on you here, Ash. Race 8, number 3, Petrarca. I reckon I'm going to have a stab at the speed map here, and I reckon you might find the front, and I reckon you're going to be very hard to beat. $1.80 says Craig Rail. Happy to forgive one maybe semi-poor run there last week. So race 8, number 3, Petrarca for me. Just a quick one, Miles, before we say goodbye. Leap to Fame drawing barrier 1. Does he still win, or what? I know that's usually a good barrier, but there's a lot of talk around that he might get into a bit of strife there.
Oh, he'll get crossed unless Shane Graham decides not to run the gate. Turn it up or cross him for fun like he has previously. But the boys have got to be a little bit smarter outside him this week than they were a couple of weeks ago, where they let him get off the fence. So it's interesting when the 2 crosses the one, it does leave that gap there, especially if Grant decides to, as soon as the barrier goes, just do a right-hand turn. It makes it difficult. But he'll get crossed. It'll make it hard for him. But I can't see him being beaten, especially with all the Grimson runners drawing the back row. He's a freak. He's the best horse in Australia. And put it this way, if he gets beat, it'll be a travesty.
Yeah. Is he 2 questions, and I will let everyone go. Did I read somewhere you said Rocket with Attitude's the best horse you've ever had?
Yeah, she is in that class. Yeah, she's the best trotter I've had. It's very hard to compare her to a horse like Mindari Pretty or a Village M. She's been fantastic. I think she's just been there every season and been in every big race and every fight, and she's accredited herself well. I don't think she's that much better than the others, but she just keeps fronting up and doing what she needs to do.
And Leap to Fame, where's he going to end up at the end of his career? Top 5 of all time?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's already won as much money this year, I think, as he won all last season. He's off to New Zealand. He's got a Victoria Cup. He's got the Blacks Are Fake. He could nearly break the season's record this year. and an Inter-Dominion as well. So, yeah, he could probably break a season's record if he goes through for the rest of the year undefeated, or even if he only gets beat once or twice. So, it's once again, people are going to say, how does he compare to a Black Fake? How does he compare to a Popular Arm or a Westburn Grand or a Smoking Up? But at this day and age, he's as good as I've seen live up, and the way he beat that field here last week in those sectionals was just scary.
Yeah, good stuff. Sorry to hold you up, guys, but nice to chat and chat a little bit wider than just the races on the weekend. Chris Svanosio, thanks for joining us. David Miles and Ashleigh Delosa, good luck on Saturday night, guys, and thanks for being part of Burning Questions.
Cheers,
Thanks, Doc.
Thanks for having me.